Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. President Draupadi Murmu arrives in Luanda, the first ever visit by an Indian head of state to Angola to hold bilateral talks with Angolan counterpart João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço on issues of mutual interests. US airlines cancel over 1,400 flights on day 2 of government-mandated flight cuts as government shutdown disrupts air travel, reduction in flights to rise further in the coming days. Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara arrives in the United States for a landmark official visit to meet US President Trump at the White House on Monday, first visit by a Syrian president since the country's independence in 1946. Just days after Typhoon Fung-wong wreaked havoc across Southeast Asia, another Typhoon Fung-wong next approaches the Philippines, expected to make landfall by Sunday night. And in the FIDE World Cup 2025, world champion Gukesh crashes out. 4 Indians including R. Pragananda, Arjun Ergaizi, Pentela Harikrishna and Pranav V progress to round 4. In a growing sign of India's deepening engagement with Africa, President Draupadi Murmu, the first ever Indian head of state, arrived in Luanda, the capital of Angola, on the first day of her two-nation visit to the continent of Africa. Foreign Minister of Angola received President Murmu at the airport. The trip holds immense importance, especially as India and Angola mark 40 years of their diplomatic ties this year. President Murmu will be addressing the Angolan parliament and interacting with members of Indian diaspora during her visit. From Angola, her next stop will be the neighbouring country of Botswana. President Draupadi Murmu's itinerary also includes interacting and engaging with members of the Indian community living in Angola. DD India correspondent Akash Popli spoke to Samuel Mackay, Vice President of the Indian Chamber of Commerce in Angola, about the President's visit and its significance for the Indian diaspora.
Our President visit, the Angolans will be considered a great achievement for them because they also wanted India to come over here, and they consider now India is one of the fast growing country, and then there are India's participation in this investment and participations, they are expecting a lot. So our President visit will be a great achievement for our country.
Nilesh Mehta, President of the Indian community in Angola, feels India and Angola have great potential to collaborate in different sectors such as aviation, mining, ports, healthcare, among other areas.
After 40 years, bilateral relations, the first time the President of India is visiting Angola, and there is a huge potential in the various sectors, as I said, that in the trading sector, in the health sector, in the service sectors, even in the aviation sectors also, I can say. They just opened the new airport, and there is a huge potential and possibilities for the ports, for the mining sectors, for the industrialization. As far as the Indians are very good in the creating the small-scale jobs. So our focus as an Indian community, our focus is to creating more jobs over here in Angola, and strengthen the relations.
Uttarakhand is celebrating silver jubilee of its formation on Sunday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Dehradun, the capital of Uttarakhand, to participate in a program marking the 25th anniversary of Uttarakhand's formation. During the visit, the Prime Minister will inaugurate and lay the foundation stones for various development projects. These projects cater to several key sectors, including drinking water, irrigation, technical education, energy, urban development, sports and skill development. Prime Minister will also release a support amount of 620 million Indian rupees to more than 28,000 farmers directly into their bank accounts under PM Fasal Bima Yojana. Prime Minister will also launch a commemorative postal stamp to mark the occasion and address the gathering. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a two-day visit to Bhutan from 11th of this month. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi and King of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk, will inaugurate the 1,020-megawatt Punat Sangchu 2 hydroelectric project. This project is jointly developed by India and Bhutan. The Prime Minister will attend the celebrations dedicated to the 70th birth anniversary of the 4th King of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Wangchuk, and also meet his counterpart, Shering Togbe. Prime Minister will celebrate and participate in the Global Peace Prayer Festival and offer prayers to the holy relics at Tashi Chodzong in Thimphu. India's Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal visited Melbourne, Australia. He held bilateral discussions with Australia's Minister for Trade and Tourism, Senator Don Farrell, and Minister for Skills and Training, Andrew Giles. The discussions focused on unlocking the full potential of the India-Australia Economic Partnership, including through an ambitious and balanced India-Australia Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement. India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Pabitra Margarita, inaugurated the new Chancery building of the Embassy of India in Bolivia and called it an important milestone in bolstering the diplomatic engagement between the two countries. In a social media post, the minister said the new Chancery building of the Embassy of India in La Paz marks an important milestone in advancing India's diplomatic engagement with Bolivia. He added that our presence will deepen the bonds of friendship and cooperation between our two nations. During his visit, the minister also met representatives of the Bolivian Business Association and entrepreneurs and discussed ways to strengthen bilateral trade and investment, particularly in tourism, minerals, textiles and pharmaceuticals sectors. He encouraged Bolivian business leaders to visit India and explore opportunities in its dynamic and growing market. The visiting dignitary also met members of the Indian community and Bolivian cultural groups devoted to Indian music, dance and yoga. He appreciated their efforts in promoting India's values and traditions in Bolivia. The minister said that their goodwill and dedication, along with the vibrant initiatives of Indian Embassy in Bolivia, strengthen our friendship and people-to-people ties. On the occasion of National Entrepreneurship Day in India, the focus is once again on the talent and achievements of Indian entrepreneurs. From small-scale businesses to unicorn startups, targeted reforms by the government have played a key role in improving ease of doing business and creating newer opportunities for the youth. We get to more.
National Entrepreneurship Day is celebrated annually on November 9th in India. The nation has taken decisive steps to make it easier to start, run and grow a business. From digital single window clearances to large-scale regulatory cleanups, the focus is on creating a predictable and supportive business environment. These changes save time, cut costs and inspire confidence among entrepreneurs and investors.
पिछले 11 साल में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, उद्यमशीलता को बहुत बड़ी ताकत मिली। आज लाखों स्टार्टअप्स टियर 2, टियर 3 सिटी में देश की अर्थशक्ति को, देश के इनोवेशन को ताकत दे रहे हैं। उसी प्रकार से मुद्रा योजना से हमारे देश के करोड़ों नौजवान, उसमें भी हमारी बेटियां, करोड़ों लोग मुद्रा से लोन लेकर के अपना खुद का कारोबार कर रहे हैं। खुद तो अपने पैरों पर खड़े हुए हैं, लेकिन औरों को भी पैरों पर खड़े रहने की ताकत देते हैं। वे भी एक प्रकार से हर व्यक्ति को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का अवसर दे रही है।
India is now the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after the US and China. There are over 1.9 lakh startups in India today. These startups have generated more than 17 lakh jobs. India holds 39th position in World Competitiveness Index 2024. Over 400 schemes support female entrepreneurs. India is the fourth largest economy in the world. and is fast moving towards the next pedestal. The nation's development journey is energized by the aspirations and achievements of its entrepreneurs. Bureau Report, TT India.
India's Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Manohar Lal, inaugurated the National Urban Conclave 2025 at Yashobhoomi, New Delhi on Saturday. He launched the Amrit Anthem, that is Jai Hi Janani, Jal Hi Janani, for highlighting the importance of water in day-to-day life, and he urged everyone to save water for the future. The two-day conclave brings together policymakers, urban planners, experts and stakeholders to deliberate on the theme Sustainable Urban Development and Governance through intensive brainstorming sessions across 6 thematic areas. Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs inaugurated the Viksit Bharat City exhibition, which brings to life the vision of a truly developed, vibrant, inclusive, sustainable and future-ready Indian city. Minister Manohar Lal also launched the Dump Site Remediation Accelerating Program, that is DRAP, a year-long mission mode initiative aimed at fast-tracking the remediation of remaining dump sites across urban India. Another major initiative launched on the occasion was the Urban Invest Window, an initiative of HUDCO under the guidance of the Ministry of Urban Development.
चाहे स्वच्छ भारत मिशन है, PMAY है, या शहरों के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का विषय है, पानी का विषय है, बिजली का विषय है, जो भी व्यक्तियों की सुविधाएं होती हैं, नागरिक की सुविधाएं, उन सब के ऊपर जितने वर्टिकल है, सब पर विचार करते हैं.
At the Belem Climate Summit ahead of COP30, Dr. Arunabha Ghosh, CEO, Council on Energy, Environment and Water, and COP30 Special Envoy representing South Asia, addressed the Leaders Summit on a thematic session on energy transition. The South Asia Envoy to COP30, Dr. Arunabha Ghosh, highlighted the story of India and South Asia. He said that India has electrified 130 million people in 18 months, delivered clean cooking and fuels to over 100 million households, while simultaneously building out a clean energy infrastructure, which is the 4th largest in the world.
India electrified 130 million people in 18 months, delivered clean cooking and fuels to over 100 million households, while simultaneously building out a clean energy infrastructure, which is the 4th largest in the world. Our analysis at CEW suggests that India's current climate policies will help bend its emissions curve and reduce CO2 emissions by 4 billion tons between 2020 and 2030. So to bridge the ambition and the implementation gaps, we must first fill the perception gap. We must recognize the countries, cities and companies in the global south that are meeting their goals ahead of time with a bias for action.
And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. In Jammu, Border Security Force Director General Daljit Singh Chaudhary flagged off a half marathon from the BSF headquarters. The event saw enthusiastic participation from BSF personnel and civilians, aiming to promote fitness, discipline and a spirit of unity among the forces and the public. A group of students from Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch and Rajouri districts visited Pune as part of a national integration tour. The initiative aimed to expose students from border areas to diverse cultures, promote unity and strengthen national integration through educational and cultural exchange. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Conservative Rodrigo Paz sworn in as Brazil's new president, ending 2 decades of left rule. Powerful tornado hits Brazil, damaging 90% of the town structures and displacing thousands. Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz set to face each other at the ATP finals. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration reports that 1,460 flights were cancelled on Saturday, the second day of mandated reduction at 40 major U.S. airports amid the ongoing federal government shutdown, now in its 39th day. Thousands of other flights faced delays, with air traffic control staffing shortages affecting 37 towers and centers, including in Atlanta, Newark, San Francisco, Chicago and New York. Ground delays averaged to about 4.7 hours at Atlanta. The shutdown has furloughed or unpaid 13,000 controllers and 50,000 security screeners, prompting 20 to 40% absenteeism. The cuts rose to 6% last week and will be 10% by November 14th. Meanwhile, U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has noted positive bipartisan talks towards temporary funding with a planned Sunday session. Syria's President Ahmed al-Shara arrived in Washington on Saturday for a historic official visit, the first by a Syrian leader since 1946. His arrival comes a day after the U.S. removed him from its terrorism blacklist. Shara, who led rebel forces to overthrow Bashar al-Assad last year, will meet President Trump at the White House on Monday. The two leaders first met in Riyadh earlier this year during Trump's regional tour. U.S. officials expect discussions on Syria joining the U.S.-led coalition against ISIS. Washington also plans to establish a base near Damascus to oversee humanitarian aid and regional developments. The State Department said delisting Shara acknowledges Syria's progress towards stability and political reform. Bolivia's Congress confirmed Rodrigo Paz as the new president on Saturday, restoring diplomatic ties with the United States after 17 years and pledging to end economic isolation. The 58-year-old conservative, son of a former leader, swore oath amid applause and heavy rain, vowing God, family and country. Paz inherits inflation above 20%, depleted dollar reserves and chronic fuel shortages caused by subsidy policies under outgoing socialist rule. He promises lower taxes, fiscal discipline and capitalism for all while preserving social programs. Delegations from over 70 nations attended the ceremony. Typhoon Fung-wong, locally named Huon, has intensified towards super typhoon status. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration reported that with winds up to 185 kilometers per hour, the typhoon is predicted to make landfall on Sunday night on the eastern Philippines coast. The typhoon has started affecting Catanduanes municipality in the Philippines. The typhoon spans 1,500 kilometers, already causing heavy rains across eastern provinces. Up to 200 millimeters of rainfall risks floods and landslides in Bicol and Samar. Evacuations are underway in low-lying areas with marine activities halted. This follows Typhoon Kalmaegi, which killed 204 people in the Philippines and 5 in Vietnam, displacing thousands. The Philippines evacuated more than 100,000 residents from eastern and northern areas as Super Typhoon Fung-wong is strengthening. Highest alert signal number 5 covers southeastern Luzon, including Catanduanes and coastal Camarines provinces. Metro Manila faces signal number 3. Sustained winds reach 185 kilometers per hour with gusts to 230. Over 300 flights were cancelled. Power fails were reported in eastern Visayas. This follows Typhoon Kalmaegi, which killed 204 in the Philippines and 5 in Vietnam. And Typhoon Kalmaegi has left a trail of destruction across Vietnam's Dak Lak province. 6 people have been reported dead or injured and over 1,100 houses were damaged or collapsed. The typhoon made landfall in central Vietnam late on Thursday, uprooting trees, damaging homes and triggering power outages before weakening as it moved inland. More than 54,000 aquaculture cages and several fishing boats were destroyed by strong winds and waves. Local authorities have deployed rescue forces to assist recovery and restore normalcy. Power supply remains disrupted. The province is now assessing total losses to provide aid to affected residents.
Tỉnh cũng đã chủ động We have reviewed and recorded the damages to promptly allocate funds from the provincial budget and government support to help affected residents. Military and police forces are also preparing plans to assist in the recovery and repair of hundreds of fishing boats washed ashore.
A powerful tornado tore through southern Brazil on Friday. In Paraná, state officials reported that rescue operations were underway in Rio Bonito do Iguaçu following the tornado. Six deaths are confirmed, with at least 750 injured. 90% of homes and public buildings remain damaged by winds reaching 250 kilometers per hour. The government has extended the state of public calamity, releasing emergency funds and federal aid. About 1,000 displaced people are staying at Laranjeiras do Sul shelters. Firefighters are clearing debris along with restoration of power and water. 3 days of official mourning to honor victims amid ongoing intensive care for the injured continues. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world now. UK's King Charles and Queen Camilla led the royal family at the Festival of Remembrance in London, held at the Royal Albert Hall. The event marked 80 years since World War II ended. Music, tributes and a 2-minute silence honoured the fallen soldiers. In Paris, people gathered to mark 10 years since the November 13 attacks. Candles, flowers and messages were placed at Place de la République. The tribute honoured 130 victims killed in the 2015 terror attacks. In northern France, thousands gathered in Calais to witness a magical show by La Machine Theatre Company. The latest creation, the travelling Varan, wowed the crowd with its massive moving machine and stunning performances. The 3-day event turned the city into a stage of wonder and has now become a new symbol of Calais. Let's get you sports updates now. The International Chess Federation, that is FIDE, confirmed on Saturday that 4 Indian grandmasters advanced to the 4th round of the World Cup 2025 in Goa as the tournament progresses, with 206 players from 82 nations competing for the Vishwanathan Anand Cup. Reigning world champion Gukesh suffered elimination in the 3rd round, losing a 2-game match to Denmark's Fredrik Svein 0.5 to 1.5 after drawing the opener and resigning in a night pawn ending. R. Pragananda defeated Armenia's Robert Hovhannisyan 1.5 to 0.5. Arjun Ergaizi, Pentila Harikrishna and Pranav drew their matches 1.5 to 0.5, advancing directly, while 3 faced tiebreakers on Sunday. In tennis, world number 1 Jannik Sinner and his closest rival Carlos Alcaraz are set to headline the ATP finals beginning in Italy on Sunday. Both players aim to cap their seasons with the prestigious year-ending title. The two rivals, currently vying for the world number 1 spot to end the year, expressed excitement and determination ahead of the event. The ATP finals will feature the top 8 players from the season competing in 2 round-robin groups. The tournament will conclude on 16th November in Turin. 22-year-old Alcaraz said that people are often surprised by his warm relationship with Sinner off the court.
Yeah, I'm excited and I'm really motivated to do a good performance here, to play a good tennis, giving myself the chance to try to win it. So let's see. But obviously the number 1 spot is on the line as well. So I think it's going to be really interesting for the people to watch the matches, to follow really closely everything. So I think it's going to be a great and interesting week.
Very happy to be here. You know, it's the last tournament we play. Let's see what's coming, but I'm very happy to play in Italy once again after Rome, coming back here in Turin after last year. It's great, and we all hope for a great event.
With that, we end this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. Now, this app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.